everybody, it's John Moran with Star Success, and I hope you're having a fantastic week wherever you are. And today we want to answer a question that came in from a sales manager out of Phoenix, Arizona. So Tim, hopefully you're doing well and having a great week yourself. His question was, John, how do you motivate sales reps? And how do you keep them accountable for their daily productivity, weekly productivity, and then ultimately their monthly sales quotas? And Tim, if you know, I get the question all the time, how do you motivate sales reps? But yours was very unique, and that's why we're answering it. Because you asked specifically, how do you do it without providing sales contests, sales recognitions award, essentially telling salespeople, hey, listen, this is your job, this is what you're responsible for, but we want to help you and support you, and how do we create an environment that does that successfully? So Tim, I've got an answer. And ironically enough, I was just talking about this last week with a buddy of mine who's up in San Francisco who works for an insurance company. We were talking about accountability and how do you create this culture of accountability for sales reps so that they push forward, really not because they're being cracked upon with a whip, but because they want to do it. And he had a great concept that I'm going to, I guess, borrow, if you will, from his company, and it was a concept called RACE, and essentially it's results as compared to expectations. And what they do is 3 days a week they have block time where they're responsible for coming in as an organization, all the sales reps, and they block out an hour and a half time to make phone calls, outbound telemarketing calls, if you will. And they're doing this for new business generation, or new lead generation, say, business development, following up with prospects that are essentially in their sales pipeline. And they do it as a group. One, because it creates an energy, right? By having everybody in the room at one time, it creates kind of this uniformed energy that everybody can build off and take from. So I think that's important. But what I liked about it from an accountability standpoint is that they set expectations prior to any of this starting. And the reps set the expectations themselves with their manager. And then what they do is the manager asks, listen, how would you like me to hold you accountable for these expectations that you yourself have laid out in front of me? And when you do that, and when you essentially treat men like men and women as women and as human beings, and instead of being the dictator and slapping people down for not meeting their numbers, when you actually put the ball back in their court to set their own expectations for what is a successful barometer in terms of activity and metrics, it kind of puts the onus back on them. Right? There's ownership in that. And because of it, they're able to manage expectations and manage this accountability piece, I think, better than a lot of companies. So I think it's one, obviously just having a system in place, but using this concept of RACE, right? Results as compared to expectations. So we know what the results need to be. And we know what the expectations are that you have as a sales rep in order to meet those results. And we're going to come to you as a management team and say, all right, how do we help each other hold you accountable for these expectations so that we can meet these results? So again, it was a concept I really liked, and I thought it was very useful and pertinent to your question about how do you motivate sales reps without sales contests and sales recognition awards and all this other stuff that we, unfortunately as organizations we have to do. And so hopefully you take some nuggets out of that and it'll work for you, because I think the accountability piece, that's the key. It's holding people accountable, but again, making themselves accountable by owning it, right? Owning their own expectations and the own results and these results that they're supposed to produce. So hopefully that helps, Tim. I think it will, and hopefully it helps the rest of you that are watching this video. And like I always say, here's to your continued success. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.